Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, the most recent entry into Hideo Kojima's most acclaimed franchise, and prime contender for one of the best games of 2015. But I'm willing to bet there are a few things even the most die-hardiest of die-hard fans don't know about it. So, let's play a game with this video. If you learned something new, I want you to give this video a like. But if you already knew all 10 facts before watching, I want you to give it a dislike guilt-free. Because if you knew everything, that means I didn't do my job properly. Also, this video will be spoiling the entire game, so you have been warned. So without any further ado, here are 10 things you didn't know about Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. You know, it never ceases to amaze me how bizarrely realistic some of the aspects of the Metal Gear franchise are, while simultaneously being so batshit crazy. Like, oh hey Snake, you need to shower regularly, appears 10 minutes after, hey, watch out for the giant flying fire whale! So in another of what I'm sure will be a series of listing these bizarrely realistic mechanics, did you know that if you leave a knockdown enemy face down in a puddle of water, a river, or a stream, they'll actually drown to death? Yep. They'll just drown. Right there, in the puddle. I'm sorry, but what? Let's see. Shotgun blast at point-blank range to the face? That just puts him to sleep for a little bit. But leaving him face down in a puddle? Holy shit, dude, you just killed that guy. In the first mission, when you're rescuing Kaz, there's a sweet little Easter egg hidden behind a secret button prompt. Kaz will ask Snake to say the magic words, and although there's nothing that tells you can make Snake speak, pressing E at that exact moment will cause Snake to say, "Kept you waiting, huh?"
Come on. Say it for all time's sake. Kept you waiting, huh?
I think it's sweet. So, you're in the middle of an enemy outpost, and despite expertly dispatching several of their men thus far, you've still got one last asshat standing between you and the objective. But oh noes! There's no time for a supply drop, you're out of tranq pistol ammo, and all your other weapons have spontaneously disintegrated. But don't worry, you have another option, besides the other, 5 options you'd have in that situation. Did you know that in addition to their intended use for distracting enemies, if you can land a throw on their heads, you can toss a magazine at an enemy and they'll pass out? So don't fret, even in a situation as contrived as that one, you'll always have another option to remain stealthy. So, this one's a bit interesting. Did you know that Metal Gear Solid 5 has a hidden morality system commonly known as Demon Score? So by doing things like building nukes, killing enemy soldiers, and shooting your buddies, you gain demon points. And as the points grow higher and higher, the piece of shrapnel embedded in Snake's head will actually start to grow into a demon horn. And eventually, if your demon score is high enough, you'll become Demon Snake, which makes it so you're constantly covered in blood that you can't wash off. The Fulton Recovery system is probably one of my favorite video game mechanics in recent memory, and not just because you can pull a tank off its treads and into the sky. It creates a nice bridge, both in its mechanics and in its narrative, to the base management aspect of the game. You're spying on soldiers and marking their location, when suddenly, you see someone with an A+ rank in R&D, and holy shit, that's exactly what you need to make that upgrade for your favorite gun. Suddenly, the game has organically opened up a side objective that has a lot of personal importance to you. It is a really fantastic system. But let's say for whatever reason, you change your mind about Fultoning someone at the very last second. Well, no matter, because you can prevent a Fulton extraction just by shooting the balloon. Did you know that the watch that appears when you use the Phantom cigar is based on a real-world model called the Seiko G757 5000? And perhaps even more interesting to some of you, that model of watch was also used by James Bond in the movie Octopussy. Yes, that is a real James Bond movie. And because I can't think of any way to talk about that for any longer, here's a picture of a cat in a sombrero to compensate. Remember earlier how I brought up Metal Gear Solid making you shower frequently as an example of how the game juxtaposes reality with insanity, like an episode of Cosmos being broadcast at a Scientology convention? Well, just like I wish would happen in real life, the game actually punishes you for not bathing. Did you know that if Snake goes days without showering, flies will start to gather around you, and enemies will be able to smell you, and might investigate the area you're trying to sneak through? And not only are you punished for not showering, but you also gain benefits for doing so. By stopping off at Mother Base once every few missions to clean up, you'll get the incredibly vague, "you feel refreshed" message. What this actually means is that Snake will get increased health and longer reflex mode for X amount of time. I feel sorry for Snake, I really do. I mean, the man gets woken up after a 9-year coma, and immediately gets put back to work risking his life, doing mission after mission, never sleeping, never eating, nothing but working. And that's why, whenever possible, I like to let Snake imagine he's in a better place having fun. And really, what could be more fun than sledding, besides these things? That's right, we have another ingenious use for the cardboard box. When you approach a cliff in the prone position while using a box, Snake will actually start to sled down it. And, you know, I like to think that he's imagining himself in Aspen. Whee! So, here's the scenario. You're infiltrating a highly guarded outpost, and just after having completed the objective, shit starts to hit the fan. Well, luckily for you, Snake, you have a secret escape route. Just find yourself a cargo container sitting around somewhere, climb on top, and strap a Fulton to it. Then you get a button prompt to hang on to it, and boom, you've just exited the mission area and are automatically returned to the ACC. All according to plan. So generally, the number one spot in one of my videos is something big and climactic, right? Something that's either been hiding in plain sight, or so hidden that most people wouldn't have known about it. Neither of these is the reason I chose this for the number one spot. Instead, I've chosen it because I think it's hilarious. So I apologize if you think this is anticlimactic, but I laughed my ass off the first time I found this. So, you know how Mother Base is littered with under construction areas that never seem to finish no matter how long you play the game? Well, in these areas you can find warning signs that have little chibi characters warning you about something, which, by the way, are modeled after members of your crew. For example, the construction signs have paths on them, and the warning signs in the brig have quiet on them, and so on. Anyways, did you know that if you stand under the "warning, falling boxes" sign for a while, eventually Snake will get hit with a falling box, with an accompanying Looney Tunes-esque sound effect? So everyone, that was 10 things you didn't know about Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, and I hope that you enjoyed it. If you learned something new, leave a like, and if you didn't, leave a dislike, because that means I didn't do my job properly. Also, if you guys like what I'm doing here and want to support me further, then the link to my Patreon is in the description below this video, because that helps me continue to do this full time. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.